Hey, welcome back to the DonBest.com studios. I'm Pat Williams, Brian Blessing, Kenny White. We're talking Thursday night football, guys. Green Bay 5, 49.5, hosting the Bears. Rivalry game, obviously. How much do we take from week one? A Green Bay loss and a Bears victory.
The question I'd have, and a lot. I mean, the Bears look good. I think it's a new-look Bears team. And listen, I think what you take from is how good San Francisco is. My question to you would be, teams that don't win in their first 2 weeks don't make the playoffs. The sense of urgency for Green Bay, how much is that factored into this number?
0. When the line's 5 right now, that there's nothing factored into the line if they lose and they go 0-2. It's all based on what everyone saw last, and amazing how far the Packers have fallen. I think the Packers go 0-16 this year because the way they looked in week 1, they can't beat anybody in the NFL.
Nice.
So much for my Cedric Benson comeback story.
Oh,
he was really impressive, 2 yards a carry. But, guys, let's call it what it is. That San Francisco defense right now looks to be the best in football after week 1.
As I tried to look at that part of it, Kenny, the 18 yards rushing for Benson, going, that doesn't cut it. You have to run the ball. Teams are playing nickel and dime against Rodgers. You've got to be able to run the football. Then I went back and looked at the games last year. They were only getting 80 yards rushing against the Bears anyway. That's just the Packers game. They just ran into a great pass rush and a ball-hawking secondary last week.
The 49ers were really looking forward to that game. I thought they may be a little nervous coming in, but no shot. They're too talented, and they upgraded their offense. They're a serious contender. They were the team. I picked them. We talked about it. I thought the 49ers were going to win the NFC this year and go to the Super Bowl. So wasn't a huge surprise to me. And no, I don't think the Packers are going to go 0-16. But I'm kidding because of the line in this game is just 5. Brian and I talked about it last week when the Packers were only 5 at home. Would that be the lowest spread they would be all year?
Yeah.
Because they're going to be a touchdown over everybody else. So there's been a 2-point adjustment because the Bears beat up on the worst football team in the NFL, the Colts, and the Packers lost to probably the second or third best team in the NFL, the 49ers.
The biggest problem, Pat, I think for the Packers in that game was Jennings. Everything was underneath, and they made Cobb and Jones the featured guys, which they're great players, and Nelson is solid. But Green Bay never stretched the field. It was all underneath stuff. Look for them to try to go over the top against the Bears because it killed them against the 49ers.
All right, tough to really make sense of what the Bears did to the Colts. The Colts turned it over 5 times. But one thing jumped out to me, fellows, that Jay Cutler's looking for Brandon Marshall on every play. 15 targets for Brandon Marshall. The next most thrown to receiver had 6, and that was a running back.
Almost half his passes. He threw 35 passes, and 15 of them were headed Marshall's way. They did connect on 9 of those for 119 yards. We talked about that in some videos in August, that these two guys are back together. They were together in Denver. They know each other. They have a connection, and they got to renew that connection over the practice games in August, and they're going to be a very good hookup. It's a good combo.
I know we're going to have our picks video later, in the week, but we've got this standalone Thursday game. I think the over 49.5 looks pretty good here. Cutler did it. He can't help himself. He threw the pick for a touchdown against the Colts, but he bounced back nicely. And from a matchup perspective, an absolute nightmare for the Bears. Findlay had 3 touchdowns in one game last year and another in the last game of the season, which was 35-21 at Lambeau. I think we're going to see points, and more points.
And that was without Jay Cutler.
That's right. That was McCown.
So what's Jay Cutler going to do?
And it's a revenge game, this situation, with the 2 losses last year. Cutler, obviously, he won 5 in a row before he got hurt last year. That's 6 in a row now. He's playing very well. I'm just bringing up a couple points for the line move. Wyatt is lower than what we think. And I know we'll have a play on this up on our site.
All right. For Brian Blessing and Kenny White, I'm Pat Williams. Good luck on your selections Thursday night in NFL football. We'll see you right back here at DonBest.com.